Hello, Golf Plus players. This is Topher James. And today I'm going to help break down distance control. I was helping out another Golf Plus Diamond Pro player with distance control with the different clubs, and I figured it'd be nice to make a video that focuses on it. So, in this video, though, I'm just going to break down driver, 6 iron, and maybe my sand wedge. But when I say distance control, I'm thinking about, those who are not familiar with the golf game. It's just, I want to be able to hit any yardage that if I hit a ball, I can't even talk right now. I'm just so excited to talk about the video. I just want to hit any distance that I want. And in the game, all the clubs have designated distances. So I have driver 305, 3 wood 265, 218, 208, 196. I mean, you guys can go through all of them. However, even though the game designates the yardage for every single club, which is weird because, yeah, your driver 290, there's golf ranges on here. I don't know why they don't have a range on here. But anyway, so when I play the game, I know my driver, I'm going to break down every distance range for every club. So my driver is about 280 to 300. 3 wood is, I'd say, 235 to 265. 3 iron is, I would say, 205 to 220. 4 iron is 195 to 210. 5 iron is 180 to, I have a hard time getting that yard, so I'm going to say 195. 6 iron is 170 to, I would say, 188. 7 iron is 160 to 170. 8 iron would be, what would be my distance on 148 to, I don't know, I'd say 160. 9 iron would be 130 to 145. Pitching wedge is 120 to 135. Gap wedge is 100 to, I would say, comfortably 115. Sand wedge is 180 to 100. And then my lob wedge, I don't hit anything past 70 yards. So that's my range for my clubs. And each of these clubs, except the lob wedge, is at 100% power assistance. But it comes down to how I hit the ball. Now, basically, I have 3 swings. I have my normal swing, I have a light swing, and then I have an aggressive swing. And it also depends on how I hit the ball. If I hit a fade, if I hit a draw, if I hit a high fade, or if I hit a low draw, it really depends on the situation. So I'm going to start off with the driver. I'm going to show the different distances on that. So if I hit a regular driver, I'm going to say this is going to be about 295. Now, I usually play a little bit of fade on my driver on an average shot. Okay, so it carried 280, but it rolled out to 298. Probably got a bump from the rough or something like that. Now, if I get on a short par 4, or if I really want to set myself good for my second shot for the hole, depending on what the situation is, I may want to do a light cut driver to cut off some yardage. So I'm going to aim left. I'm just going to do a nice little light cut. So that one was still a little bit firm. I could feel that. But you can see my carry was 275. So when I go to a hole, especially a par 4, when I really want to choose what yardage my second shot is so I can really be aggressive and try to get a birdie opportunity, par 5 is a little bit different. So I know that 295 is my regular drive, and then 275 to 285 is my light drive, or my high cut. So it really kind of depends. Now, let's say I'm in a situation where I really want to get the most out of my driver and get down there. Maybe there's a headwind. Maybe there's a hill like a Kapalua, some elevation change that I really want to try. So now I'm going to try to hit a low draw. So those previous two were on my left foot. That last one, that high cut, was an open face. So now I'm going to close my face quite a bit. I'm going to play it more in the middle of my stance. And I'm going to drive into the ball to try to get a low draw. So there's the low draw. And now... Alright, so it still carried 271, but that is almost 40 yards of rollout. So now I'm at 308. So that would be, good into the wind. I get a little more rollout. It really just depends. There's not that big of a difference, but I have 20 to 30 yards to play with on my driver. So basically, again, I have my regular swing, and I have a fade adjusted on the driver, so that'll give me 295. If I want to do a high cut, I aim left and open my face a little bit. And that will give me less, probably about 280, 290, depending on, like we were just on Sawgrass, and hole 12 was that short par 4. So a lot of times I would hit, or even hole 4, that short par 4 with the water, I would hit a high cut driver so I could still get a full swing. So left and open for a high cut for a little yardage. Or if I want to do a low draw, depending on the situation, I would play it more in the middle of my stance, and I would close my driver, and I would lean into it. So that gives me options off the tee. So let's say now, you know what, I'm actually going to do my 6-iron, which is 185. Excuse me for a second. Just going to set myself up. All right. So more or less, we're just going to focus on the yardage of the driver. Or the 6-iron. I am so good at public speaking, and this is actually annoying me, so I'm going to knock him back 20 yards. Better yet, when you're practicing, just take a drop, and then you can actually set yourself up with a good yardage. Yeah, it's a 175 to the hole. There we go. So 175 is a great yardage for my 6-iron. I can just hit a regular shot straight up and down. It's an iron. It's in the middle of my stance. I'm playing the game. I'm not playing IRL and golf, so that's a huge difference. But with this, I kind of draw it sometimes or pull it. So I think 175 is a good carry for my 6-iron. So I'm going to aim a little right. And there's the pull, which is fine. I'd be fine with missing a left. My carry was 177. So that'd be good for this shot because the pin's in the front and, plenty of green to work with. But let's say I wanted it to land in front of the green because for whatever reason, I want to either be short of the hole or I want an easy chip. So same thing. I'm going to play it off the left part of my foot. Still the same swing. I'm going to cut at it. And I'm going to aim left and hope that I can get it to fade towards the hole. So it's up higher. There's the fade. And I shaved off 3 yards. So I know that if I wanted to go a little bit shorter, I can cut it, like open my face up a little bit more. And I could probably get that down to 170 depending on the reason. Or if there's a left or right wind, for whatever reason, that's my option. So now, let's say there's a headwind. Or I really want to get this to the back part of the green. I want the ball to roll out. So now, just like with the driver, I'm going to play it more towards the middle of my stance. I'm going to close my club. And 175 is my average for my 6-iron, like I just showed, which was 177. But now I want to get it past the hole for whatever reason. So I know I'm going to draw this. I'm going to hit it lower, so I'm going to aim more right. So not a lot of draw, but I definitely hit it further. So it carried 187. So I'm still able to get to the stock yardage of the 6-iron, and plus with that rollout. So again, I have options with one club, and there wasn't much difference in my swing itself. Like I didn't do a half swing or 75% swing or some type of, abbreviated swing. It was still the same swing. I just, changed how I addressed it. So from here, it was 175 to here was 185. Just in that little space, I have that much options. So let's say for any reason I wanted to hit a 5-iron and still get it close to the pin. So you just kind of have fun with it. So now I'm basically going to do like a little flop shot. So I'm aiming left towards the sand. The face is very high open, but I'm going to get this high up so maybe the ball will stop. So there's the cut. There's a nice fade. Okay. So my 5-iron that I can normally hit 185 or whatever I said earlier, I carried it 181 with a nice sweeping fade, and I only got that much rollout. Now the better question is, can I get my 7-iron there? So let's say I want to roll it up on the green. I'm just showing all the differences for this 1 yardage, and that helps you score better with your distance control. So I'm really going to try to get a 7-iron there. I normally hit this 163. I'm going to play it back in my stance. It's going to be closed face because I want to hit a low draw. And with those low draws, you really want to get down on it. You really want to strike it, steep. So got a nice little draw. It's still going to be short. Oh, no, I got it there. So with 3 clubs, I had many options to go 175 to put myself in a prime position. It just depends on the elements. The hole is in front of the green. So you definitely don't want it. I mean, you can miss it short, but you rather be the yardage or miss it long. If there's wind, if there's an elevation change, if there's whatever reason, you have options that you just practice. And it's still the same swing. You just open it, keep it flat, or you close it. So now we are going to move on to my sand wedge, which, let me do this really quick. Take a drop. And then let's go, I'd say 90 yards is usually my go-to for my sand wedge. So 90 yards with my sand wedge is where I expect the ball to be within 5 feet every single time. So basically what happens with the sand wedge for me is I fly it about 93 to 95, and then I get it to roll back. So with my sand wedge, I'm going to close it a little bit because, what is it? From my sand wedge to my 8-iron, I like to draw all these clubs. And all I do differently is just a light swing or a hard swing to control the distance. So I'm going to aim a little bit right. I'm going to close it a little bit. Got my club faced forward. And just a nice swing. Not a lot of draw. Okay, so that wasn't good, but still, that's that 93 to 95 yard shot. I'll try that again. Yeah, see, that's what I expect from my sand wedge from 90 yards. So let's say it's different. Let's say I need to hit this 100 yards, which is the designated distance for my sand wedge. So I'm going to play way back my stance. So my right foot is literally right here. I'm going to play way back my stance. I'm going to close my sand wedge because I want a lower trajectory. So a lower trajectory with a draw spin should help get it, get the distance. And I'm going to swing into the ground pretty well. Okay. And what's cool too is with the lower trajectory, you get less spin. But carried in 99, went to 100, but then back spun a yard. And, that's good. Like if it was still into the headwind and it cut it up by 5 yards, let's say the green was really sloped from back to front and I really wanted to carry it past the green or past the hole so it will back up. So I have that option with my sand wedge as well. Now, let's say for any reason I'm... Okay. Take a drop. Let's say I'm close, like I laid up and I'm closer than what I wanted to be, which is fine. So now I'm going to open up my sand wedge just a hair. I'm still going to make sure that I get into the ground. So it's going to be a light swing but aggressive because I don't want a dead ball. And all I'm going to do is just hit this up in the air. And with higher loft, it shouldn't spin as much. But still the same club. I hit 90 yards with it. I hit 100 yards with it. Now I should be able to hit 85 yards with it. See, that's the dead ball. So that's something you don't want to do. So I kind of pitched at it. But if you don't hit it strong enough, it will just come out like that. So now I'm going to actually do the correct swing. All right. Is this... I need to change the color of my lob wedge and my sand wedge because I screw that up so much. Okay, this is my sand wedge. Even I make a lot of mistakes. All right, here we go. 85 yards. Okay. A little aggressive, a little far, which is fine because I knew that I would hit this long and I can afford to hit it long because the hole is in front of the green. So let's say I want to be really aggressive. So I'm going to open up the face a little bit more. There we go. There's the 85 yards. And then I have a 6-foot putt for whatever reason. So again, whatever your club is, don't think of it limited to the yardage. So if I have my 7-iron, it's not limited to 174. First thing I do is I do a normal swing and I figure out what the yardage is. For me, the 7-iron is 163 with a nice little draw. But how can I get less? So if I wanted to hit this 158, I'll just open it up a little bit. If I actually wanted to get to the 170, I will play it back in my stance and I'll draw it. So once you figure out those different distance ranges, you'll be able to give yourself better opportunities. Don't think of it just yardage. It's a pet peeve when I hear people say, well, I'm in between clubs. Yes, that's going to happen a lot. So you just have to figure out how do you play past that. So if my 7-iron can go 170 and my 6-iron can go, if my 7-iron can go 175 and my 6-iron can go 175 if I really want to, and I have the option of doing a low draw with some run out to a high cut with it stopping, then really I'm not in between clubs. I just need to figure out my shot shape into the green. So it's just more to think about. Don't ever say that you're in between clubs because you're not. So hopefully that'll help. That just kind of gives you some more insight of how my approach right now. I'm in first place. I usually hang out in the top 5 on approach, and that's exactly how I do it. I make sure that my my approach shot into the green is always the best that it can be. If I can put myself at 95 yards, I'm, upset if I don't get within 5 feet. If I'm 95 to 120 yards, then I want 5 feet, but it better be 10 feet. And then anything more than that, you know, it just really depends. It's a lot of practice. I hope this helps you. I want everyone to get better at the game. And most of all, enjoy the game. Have a great day.